The debate over whether modern music still carries deep meaning continues, with critics blaming streaming algorithms and viral trends for prioritizing popularity over substance. Earlier, this conversation was explored with me, Niyole Oyelowo, and with a guest, discussing whether the era of meaningful music has faded and if listeners can still enjoy songs rich in messages. The discussion featured musicologist and motivational musician Seun Idowu, who noted that while today's industry favors short playlist-friendly songs, music remains a powerful source of emotional support and inspiration, proving its lasting impact.
That question depends on who is asking and who is responding. Well, looking at what we have currently, contemporary music, especially in Nigeria, we can say, well, it has faded, but someone like me and quite a few others, like Beautiful Nubia, like Lagbaja, though Lagbaja has rested a while now. But so there are still a handful of musicians who still believe that music should drive change, social change. Music should inspire. Music should motivate. Music should moderate the society. You know, teach morals, inspire people to be their better selves.
But when you look at Nigeria is still topping the charts when it comes to music globally. So what would you say is missing? Because if we're still topping the chart, it means we're still getting something right. How do you define meaningful music, and what do you think is missing in today's music that was in, music those days?
Nigeria has always been topping the chart. So when people, especially the Gen Z, when they make reference to the big three, Burna Boy, Whiskey, Davido, and Mashake recently, and all these new artists, it shows that they don't know much of their history. Before we were born, our old musicians were making waves. They were going to these international tours. I still saw a video of Sunny Ade in the 1980s. It was in Japan. He had more than 80,000 crowd. So what are we talking about? So Nigeria has always been there, and they were still singing serious music, artistic music for social change. Fela was doing that. Even Sunny Ade, who was playing juju, who was just music for entertainment, still was preaching the message of consciousness, political consciousness in Africa at that time. So Nigeria has always been topping the chart. What we are saying is we should not depart from that tradition. Yes, music should entertain, but at the same time, it should inspire.
But you've not answered the question.
So what's the question?
What's your definition of meaningful music, and what do you think is missing in today's music?
So, as Africans, it's been proven. I want to go a bit into can I say science, anthropology, archaeology, and evolution. So, human race started from Africa. So anything any race or any nation of the world is doing today was copied from Africa. So music started from Africa. And as a musicologist, I studied music. I read the history of music. Music was functional. It was useful. It wasn't just entertainment. It was participatory in the ancient Africa. So music was used to moderate lives, the society now. So music was used to teach morals, to teach rules, regulations, to teach culture, to protect culture. So that was the main function. Then entertainment could come in, because by its nature, music is entertaining. So we are deviating from that, because nowadays we see a lot of light music, music that has no depth, enough depth, promoting lewdness, promoting greed, avarice, drug, and all of those things. So it could be selling, because the society, it sells, such music sells. But at the same time, it's the society, the listeners, parents, opinion molders, leaders that will still regulate and guide us in the right path. And that is where people like us come in.
All right, so, it's good you've hit the nail on the head when it comes to music losing its substance in this part of the world, especially when it comes to storytelling and as a tool for social change, because we're not really seeing that when you talk about light music, techno music as well. So my question is, the level of technology, how has it impacted today's music? Because, there's more outreach, and then the cultural identity, probably, of this current generation has been eroded as well somewhat to fit into that modern narrative of music, even if it's from an African perspective. So how has technology impacted in all of this, you think?
So technology is a tool. It is neither here nor there. It's just neutral. It depends on what you do with it. So it has given more access to more people to participate in music. It has given more individualized control over what you produce. In the past, or you would have to get a promoter, you would have to get a marketer, somebody would have to sponsor you to go to the studio, and it was exorbitant. The cost of that was exorbitant. But now technology has democratized that access. So, however, it has its negative impact as well, because the gatekeepers before the producers producers, marketers would regulate what comes out. The media would regulate what comes out, but now all of that is gone. However, we still have some countries or some societies who are intentional about what comes out. They are intentional about what people put on their social media pages, even if you have access to it in the corner of your room. So Nigeria is lacking in that, probably because we are still enjoying a bit of freedom, a bit of liberty as to what we do. So technology has done well, has improved access, and at the same time it has given opportunity to every Tom, Dick and Harry who has no debt to come to that space.
We just saw a sneak peek into one of your songs, Big Body, and I'm just wondering what inspired you to sing that, and also looking at the fact that you mentioned earlier that it is the consumers that determine the kind of music that music artists churn out. If you look at the kind of environment or the society we have now, things have changed. Do you think that, because of course as a music artist, there's also the aspect of wanting to make money. Do you think that you can, where do you find the balance? You want to make money, you want to sell to this woke generation who are the largest population when it comes to consuming music now. The youth are the largest population in Nigeria. How do you find that balance? You want to make money, you want to sell to the right population, your demographics, and you also want to put out meaningful music, end quote.
So thank you. You packed a lot of questions into one, so let me pick them one by one. So what inspired me, Body? So I reflect on life before I compose. So if you ask me, just ad-lib on the spur of the moment or extemporaneously, I really do that, because I believe that music must come from a place of reflection, sober reflection, and deep thinking. So I see a lot of youth people getting depressed, suicide becoming more rampant compared to the days we were growing up. So, and I began to wonder what could be the reason. So find social pressure, peer pressure, or as we mentioned, people having access to social media and seeing how people are flaunting wealth, flaunting money, and they think, they are not enough, or they are not making enough, or they are not rich enough, or they have not succeeded enough. So that inspired that song, Big Body. Life is not about the money you have or you don't have. You can find joy in the simple things of life, with or without money.
Very good. Just before we let you go, Seun, the likes of Fela Kuti, he was way ahead of his time when it comes to inspiring or putting forward inspiration for societal change. And of course, when it comes to political upheavals, he was always at the forefront of fighting for the common man. But when you talk about his legacy, looking at his children as well, have been successful in carrying out that legacy for societal change, social change, as it were. And then you find that even other people are profiting from that genre of music, not only Nigeria, but, in other parts of the world. So briefly, do you think that legacy has endured over time in this era of Gen Z and whatever we choose to call it?
Yeah, so that legacy has actually endured till now. And I believe it will still endure perpetually till infinity. So Seun is there. He still does conscious music, even if Nigerians don't, appreciate him much. He goes abroad to do his shows, and those who appreciate his music, listen, they enjoy him. Uncle Femi too is there. He's been doing great music, and someone like Burna Boy, who is an offshoot of that movement as well, is also a conscious musician to some certain extent. So for people like us, it's a calling. To answer one of your questions again, when I make money, I don't make money. I'm doing it because it's a calling. It's a divine calling. I have my other jobs that I'm doing. So I am not doing it running after money. But it is to preach a message. It is to transform lives.
In other words, people that want to make money can do meaningful music.
No, they can. Yeah, so they can.
So
if they want to, they can. But I also want to make money, but not anyhow, not by singing negative songs or songs that would debase humanity.
We would like to wish you all the best and thank you for coming on the show. Seun Idowu, motivational musician. Thank you for your time on the show.